On today's show, we'll be covering what's happened to the Japan Olympics, how to rebrand yourself and your business, and a lot of fun things to do with social distancing. This show is brought to you live from Houston and Dubai with your hosts, Ernesto Verdugo and Dave Crane. So how was your day?
Yeah, well, as usual, my day is just about to start right now. It's 12 o'clock sharp in Houston, Texas, and 9 o'clock for you. So you have already started and you have already your day. Tell us what's up.
The end of my day. Well, it's very challenging. This morning, first thing that happened was my dog got out under the gate while we were cleaning the backyard. So I had to run down the street and bring my dog back in. Luckily, there's no traffic or people walking their own dogs. So I got her back in without a problem. I have had experiences in the past which were not so lucky. So that was okay. And the other thing, my only other interaction with human beings, really, physical human beings, was when I ordered in from a well-known pizza place. I won't say which one it is, but it is a bit like a hut. And the gentleman who arrived, the rider, called me up to say, I brought all your pizza and I've left it on the pavement outside your house, but you can come and get it. So I looked out the window and he was standing up the other side of the road like I was some kind of leper. So I said, okay, I'm coming down now. And then he said, but I've forgotten your salad. What do you want me to do? I said, why don't you put it all back on your bike, go away, get the salad, and then give me a call. So he went, okay. So he walked across the road, picked up all the pizzas, put them in the back of his saddle, went away, came back, put them back outside my gate and called me and said, I now have the salad for you as well. So that was very kind of him. But I couldn't give him a tip because it would have blown away. And he was up the other side of the road. Maybe I'll learn to make them out of paper planes and send them to him next time. So that was my exciting day, apart from obviously the usual work and preparing for this. And there's a new way of looking at your family, by the way. You've got a dog as well. I've got two dogs. I've got my wife. I've got my daughter. And they've changed now from being my family to becoming my work colleagues, which is the thing for anybody who's working from home.
Okay. Well, that's interesting. Well, I woke up this morning to actually hearing that the Olympics have been postponed. Tokyo 2020, now it's going to be Tokyo 2021. And I think this is relatively important news because we are seeing the trickle effect. We are seeing now the domino effect. And the reason why the Olympics were actually postponed was because only 46% of the athletes that were going to compete in the Olympics in Tokyo have been actually qualified. And all the qualifiers were going to happen in the next 4 months heading up to the Olympics. And basically right now with all the, all the universities and schools and sports being, locked down, that what happens is that they're not going to be able to actually make the Olympics. So this is an interesting point because I think that we need to start understanding that this is going to be a long-term thing. And you were mentioning to me something very interesting about all the people which are right now on lockdown. So tell us about that, Dave.
Well, the figure has now become 1 billion people around the world are on lockdown. And it's an incredible figure. I can't think of anything, any religion or maybe Facebook is the only thing where you could turn around and say, right, there's 1 billion people all of the same type. But for that to go around the world is incredible that people have made that decision. But there's still people crazy who are going out and not doing social distancing. We're going to tell you about some social distancing fun a little later on. Now, that's a nice drone shot. Where are we there?
That is actually drone shots from Boston, which is just interesting to see what's actually happening in every single one of our cities. And that's one of the reasons why we started we started getting in touch with people that we know around the world so that they will let us know what's going on. Right now we're seeing here Fenway Park. I'm a big baseball fan. We see it's completely empty. So they are taking it very serious because right now the epicenter of infections in the United States is actually not far away from Boston. It's actually in New York. and it is really growing very strongly. So right now, that's one of the reasons why we want to find out what's going on with all the people. Possibly you can tell them, Dave, a little bit of what we are planning with our field correspondents.
Yeah, we've got roving reporters who are very good friends of ours and incredible speakers all around the world who'll be joining us and giving us live input from wherever they are as to what they've been up to and what they've been doing. I think we're all going to get everybody saying, I'm sitting in the front room watching TV, what do you want to hear? But we'll see if they get more interesting results if anybody goes into the garden or wanders into the middle of a road and so on. And so hopefully it'll be fun to catch up with some of our dear friends. And one of our very best friends is a gentleman called Michael Diedrichs, who's actually a massive star on Dutch TV. And he's a dear friend of ours, known him for many years. And he's become the breakaway star on a show called 100 to 1 or something. What's it called?
It is called... yeah, I'm not sure exactly what it is called.
We've got 100 judges and a talent competition, and every judge is a bit flamboyant, so we get to choose what score out of 100 every artist gets. But Michael has just become the star that everybody turns around, and his opinion is more important than anybody else's, a bit like Simon Cowell. And that's happened in the last year and a half. So he's gone from being our normal friend to being our superstar friend. So I don't know if he'd still talk to us normally, but I think he'll be talking to us very soon on the show.
Yeah, let's see. Let's go with Michael all the way to the Netherlands.
Hi, Dave. Hi, Ernesto. This is Michael Diedrichs coming to you live from the Netherlands. Here, the situation very similar to everywhere else. I find that some of the Dutch are still being a little bit obstinate about staying indoors. Please, people, stay indoors if you can. My message today is I hear a lot of people in life always saying, oh, I'd do that if I only had more time, or oh, I wish I had more time. Well, I'm trying to find the silver lining in this situation, and that is a lot of us have time. So binge that series that you wanted to watch, learn a new hobby, get that extra room painted that you've been talking about. There's so much you could be doing right now. And instead of just sitting there going, oh, I'm bored. Yeah, you can be bored, but you could also be using this time. So try and find the blessing in this horrible time. Back to you guys in the studio.
And, thank you, Michael. One of the things that I think is actually very important that we talk about is right now, one of the things that I am finding absolutely crazy is all these people which are, going outside there and they're going and wearing the mask, wearing your crazy mask. I've been wondering, well, who actually should really wear the mask? Is it going to be the sick person, or does it have to be the the healthy person?
The helper. Yeah, it's really strange because when I went shopping the other day, when I did that bulletin yesterday, I went in and I said, look, are there any masks available I could buy? And they said, yeah, there's a big pile here. I brought them home, opened up, I bought a pile, opened them up, and they're just pads to put inside your mask. So unless you want to walk around holding it up like a big mustache, it's of absolutely zero use to you. But in Dubai, the government said that if you are going to go out, please wear masks. So I've ordered some masks online, but I know that there's different reports. So we're going to see one now?
Yeah, let's go for it.
The coronavirus emergency and a reality check on how concerned you should be and what you should really do to protect yourself and your family. We're seeing a rush to buy those face masks, and TJ Holmes is here with more on that. Good morning, TJ.
All right, let me try to make it plain here, Stray. I have one surgical face mask here between the two of us, between me and Tom. He's sick, I'm not. Who should get the mask? Well, your natural instinct is to say, give me that mask. I don't want to catch what he has, but I should be begging him to wear it, because him, the sick person wearing it, better protects me, the healthy person, as if I were wearing it myself. So all these masks are floating around out there. Which ones do health officials say you should use? None of them.
As coronavirus fears sweep the country, many are turning to protective face masks, hoping to keep the germs away. Gwyneth Paltrow, Selena Gomez, and Kate Hudson among those posting pictures of their face coverings while traveling. But not all masks are created equal. And the surgical face masks that many people are turning to for protection from coronavirus likely won't protect you, according to health officials. These types of masks instead are recommended for people who are already sick, because they're designed to prevent a person from spreading germs from sneezing and coughing. But there's another type of mask called an N95 or respirator mask, which the FDA says has a very efficient filtration, keeping out 95% of airborne particles. But health officials only recommend these for healthcare professionals who are in constant contact with sick patients.
I think people see a mask and they see an illusion of protection, that if they put the mask on, it'll somehow block viruses from getting into their mouth or nose when they breathe. That's just not the case. Anyone who does not have a respiratory illness, meaning a cough or a sneezing, should not be wearing any type of mask, whether it's a surgical mask or a respirator.
So as we can see it here, that's exactly what we need to do. I mean, I think the most important role, because some people have been asking me, well, why are you doing this show? And I think Dave and I, one of the reasons why we're doing this show is because we want to bring awareness. We want to show you that we're there. We want to help you as much as possible on the business side, but also on what is actually concerning us. And what we think it's very important is that everybody knows what they need to do, because it's incredible ignorance which is happening right now. I mean, I do not know, Dave, if you have seen what's actually cooking right now with the Corona beer.
Yeah, I was just going to do a back comment on the masks that Andrew Cuomo in New York has spent. He's bought about 2 million masks apparently, and he's had to pay 5 times the normal rate of the masks because he's bidding worldwide for them, and so they need them desperately. And so, of course, it's a market force that we can just drive a price up, and we have no choice but to buy them. But interesting, you talk about Corona and Corona beer, because they were talking about the fact that initially we're doing really well. We're going up 5% in our sales, but I'm not sure if that's the case now.
Yeah, it isn't. I mean, this is one of the weirdest things. If you actually think, let me just actually put this one here. This is a video that we got from the UK. No, that's not the video that I was supposed to be showing here.
Oh, toilet paper. What were you watching?
No, where is this? Oh, here we go. Show on stream. So this is a video that we got from the UK, and this is quite interesting. This is in a liquor shop, and what's going on. So let me just show the video.
Now I know we share this country with a bunch of utter fruitcakes. This is the beer section. Onto the empty, except. That's fantastic. You get the virus from that stuff, you see.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's insane. I mean, that really makes me think. People think that coronavirus, it's actually coming from Corona beer. That's just the level.
Which people think that? How could you possibly think that?
That's the level of craziness and stupidity that we're actually seeing with this coronavirus. So that's why it's just something that I think it's very important, which is also related to branding. Right now, I think Corona is going through a branding crisis, and I think it's interesting how they responded. So let me just show you how they responded, and then I think we can just talk about the importance of branding, especially during and after the COVID-19. Have a look.
Okay.
What do you think, Dave?
I think it's the wrong branding. I think that they've gone the wrong way. And I'll put the video on the replay when I edit it. I think they've gone the wrong direction of saying, you're stupid, we're drinking beer, and you've got no idea. I think we've got to turn it round and say we appreciate the fact that some people think it's related. It's not. If you've got people that daft thinking that Corona beer carries the virus, you have to speak to them in a way that you would do to daft people. You can't be subtle, and you can't be double negative, doing a slow, chilled out video, tutting up the audience. Well, all that makes people do is go, well, I'm glad you're happy. You can stick your beer. I'll drink something else. And I think that during the time that people are stuck away in quarantine, Corona beers would have gone down very well with a lot of people. So it's a perfect opportunity for them to drop the price, get people really interested in it again, and they can do something with it. So I think there's a challenge for many people who were out there doing stuff to have to reinvent themselves anyway, because the world will not be the same after the COVID-19 disappears. So you have to realize the world that you're going to be in as a direct result.
Yeah, that is exactly what I believe also. I mean, life will never be the same again. And I think we're going to have to get to a point rather earlier than later in how you're going to be presenting yourself during the COVID-19 and after COVID-19, because Corona, I think one way or the other, that was the first response. That was the first response. I agree with what you were saying. That might not have been the right response. However, it was their first response, and this is what you have to start thinking. Well, how are you going to be presenting yourself in a brand? I mean, right now, some people are going to say, well, let's drop our prices and let's try to get everybody, and that's what everybody's going to start doing. And I believe that in the right now, in the economy actually going down, if you start actually dropping your prices, it's not going to be very beneficial for you. Why? Because you are going to have the double effect, the economy going down, and of course the tremendous amount of availability of whatever you're doing is going to be there, because everybody's going to be doing the same thing. So one of the things that you need to consider is in which way you're going to be positioning yourself, so that you are now seen as your prospects or as your customers as the person that they really need to work with. So your customers, and this is one of the tips that I would like to give you, you have to start thinking, how could they perceive me as the person that they really need to work with, that they really need the most? And that is actually the reason why we want to link this story with Corona with what's going on for the business world.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, our dear friend Diedrichs Sudi, who's an expert on sales, says that when people complain about the cost of something, it's a smokescreen. They just don't see the value of it yet. So you've got to increase the value. And what you've got to do right now is you've got to let people press a reset button on everything. The values are all over the place. The things that used to matter don't matter anymore. Things that are exclusive have no value. Things that are fashion-wise have no value. I mean, even the things that, like, over the next month to 2 months to maybe even 3 months, how many people are really going to care about ironing their clothes if nobody's going to see them? There's loads of things that are different about the way that people are going to be, and the way that people are going to be afterwards will matter as well. And so everything from fitness to food to even what you drink is going to make a big impact. I think that the rebranding has to be about the world that you're heading towards, but I think you can't ignore the world that we're in right now, which is a really strange world, where previously a lot of my clients would come up to me and say, I'm a life coach, but I'm not making any money because people won't pay for happiness. But at the same time now, I think happiness is a really interesting concept for many people, a mindset, and being at one in your own skin and setting goals and all the things that are very fluffy when people are too busy going to work. Now they're not busy going to work. I think those people have a massive opportunity to connect and mop up a load of clients, 1 billion potential clients who just need that little bit more that they never got from work, and they're certainly not going to get from a TV.
Correct. I mean, I just wanted to show this slide, which I think is very interesting. Right now, what was flexing in March 2019 were the earpods, and right now what is flexing in March 2020 is Purell. So instead of you actually thinking, well, I am such a big shot and I am doing that, you have to understand that every single person in the world has a complete shift in mind, and they don't care about what you do and what you're actually creating. What you need to start thinking that it's absolutely critical is the fact that you have to solve a problem. because I can tell you, if we don't give those solutions, a lot of people are going to really suffer. So that's why you have to reposition yourself in the way that you are thinking.
Absolutely. I was just showing it in my pocket then. I had both those things. I had my earbuds, and in my other pocket, I had my cleaning stuff, my sanitizer. And what gets really weird, and it happens when you're on your own in the house, is you actually start rubbing your hands in sanitizer in your own house. What am I going to catch off me? I don't know, but I'm carrying it everywhere just in case. And it's kind of crazy, but there you go. I'm probably just going stir crazy and cabin fever at the same time. So yes, it's a big challenge for people to reinvent themselves, but they really do need to think about doing it, because the world we're going to go into, we have no concept. When you see the empty streets, we don't know how we're going to view each other when it comes to socializing. When you see your friends that you haven't seen for a very long time, are you really going to hug them? Are you going to kiss them? Are you going to shake their hand? Are you going to keep 6 foot distance and text them? It might be a completely different world. I've got to ask you, Ernesto, why do you keep showing me toilet paper? Do you need to go?
No, I don't need to go, but we're talking about how the world has changed. And this is just a very creative way of how people are actually coming up with solutions. So, for example, right now you cannot buy toilet paper. However, you can buy hand towels for the kitchen. And what people are doing is they're actually buying the hand towels and getting a knife, and with the knife, cutting the hand towels in 3 so that they will actually have toilet paper. So once again, this is the kind of world that we're living in, where people are finding completely different solutions. And business-wise, we have to actually get on their mindset. We have to get on the radar, because whatever we were doing pre-coronavirus, and I want you to start seeing the world with a timeline. It is pre-coronavirus and post-coronavirus, and whatever you were doing pre-coronavirus, I can almost guarantee you that it's not going to be worth any more what you were doing. I mean, you have to reinvent yourself. This is a time for reinvention. And
yeah, but whatever was pre-coronavirus and whatever's post-coronavirus will still involve going to the toilet. That bit doesn't have to reinvent quite as much.
Exactly, and that's why I was showing this, and also it's very relevant to our TV show.
Well, you're trying to make some statement about the show, about showing toilet paper. We'll let that move on. Okay, I wanted to talk about about a couple of things. Social distancing fun. It can actually be fun. There's a lot of activities you can do to get a better bit of enjoyment with your friends while they are in a different town or in a different part of the world. I'm going to run down a couple of things here which you might want to get involved with. You might want to write down, actually, and start doing if you're not doing them already. So, first of all, if you are distant from all your friends and you're wondering how to connect, obviously the first one is video chatting. So making friends and getting on to people you've not seen for a very long time, catching up on the gossip and finding out how things are going with themselves, their family, and just staying connected like that. Also, a virtual book club. If you like to review books or like to review movies, watch them all at the same time, chat to people about it and see how they get on. It's a little bit boring, I guess, but you've got plenty of time and it's a great time to read. Virtual sweating Why not work out at the same time on your video camera? It sounds a little bit like a dodgy thing to do, but if you're going to work out, why not do it with friends? You've got a whole gym of people who might want to do it, and that'd be rather cool. You have a gym buddy. And that leads to another conversation we need to have at some point, you and me, Ernesto, not about seeing ourselves in the gym, but about working out.
Well, once again, I mean, we're just running out of time, but once again, there's no time for the fitness challenge. So I think we're going to have to actually postpone it for tomorrow one more time.
No.
Yeah.
No. Shame on you. Okay, well, okay, all right, fine. It's becoming a fatness challenge when it comes out, by the way, but we'll see. I'll say a couple of things here. So you can do an online course together. You can do virtual cookery. So if you've got ingredients for something in the house, you might as well cook it on video camera and eat at the same time, maybe sharing ideas. You can have a virtual happy hour. This one's going to work, especially if you've got lots of corona. So you can declare happy hour and just have a chat like you were sitting in a bar or a restaurant with your friends, like that. That's kind of cool. You can do it at the same time every day, or do it all day because you're not going to drive anywhere anyway. You can get out of the house by doing a virtual tour of museums and places like that. Many of them have a virtual tour you can take. You can take YouTube tutorials. You can also learn an instrument. There's tons of apps for that. Learn a language. do a group crossword, and also, this is my favorite, and I haven't done it yet, have a Netflix party. I didn't realize there's a setting on Netflix where you can watch a movie at the same time as your friends, start and stopping at the same time, and a little bar will come up where you can add comments. So if you've got friends around the world watching this premiere or watching this movie or this TV show, you can all chat to each other and say what you think. That'd be rather cool. And you could never do it in a cinema anyway. So that's a great way of making sure that social distancing can be fun, despite the obvious fact of having no friends.
Dave, I love that you get so excited about sharing all these ideas, but we are actually running out of time. So once again, I think it's a very good idea that we continue doing this show, because I'm sure that we're bringing you valuable stuff. Make sure to watch us tomorrow. Once again, this is Ernesto Verdugo and Dave Crane, and this was the Toilet Paper Diaries.
Goodbye.